95% of the world's communication runs through underwater cables, and ships like this one are crucial in protecting that. And an Omaha native is one of the crew members that helps keep this ship functioning.
This is where I mostly work out, so this controls all of our generators, so we have power to the ship.
Working in the central controlling station aboard the USS Porter, a destroyer ship, Omaha native Jacob Nelson says he never thought he would be serving in the Navy.
At first I wanted to go for biology, so I worked at the zoo, Omaha Henry Louis Dory Zoo. Worked there for about 3.5 years.
But after graduating from Omaha Northwest High School and deciding he wanted a change and the opportunity to travel, Nelson says he applied to the Navy.
Being in the Navy, living in Spain for 1.5 years, seeing the different cultures, actually maybe have a different lookout on the world.
Now his role is crucial to keeping one of the most valuable Navy assets moving.
I monitor the electrical plant, so make sure the ship has power, make sure the generators are running, and then do normal maintenance on our gas turbines, our generators, and make sure they're working. Working
as a gas turbine systems electrical in the ship's central controlling station, Nelson says he monitors any changes or alarms that may sound throughout the ship.
Kind of like your car, right? So anything like our speed, everything like that, you can monitor from here, just like your dash of your car.
And he's responsible for alerting the ship if there's an issue, like a fire. Nelson says he does miss home, especially College World Series time, but says he wouldn't change his job for the world.
He set me up for troubleshooting, like having good experience that I would never get anywhere else.
Along with Nelson's role in alerting the ship to any fires, he also has to be ready to respond to them. And that's because every single sailor is a trained firefighter. Nelson says should an emergency happen, they have 2 to 5 minutes to get dressed out and on the move. A task I tried myself with the guidance of Nelson.
Go ahead and slide that on.
Nelson says they aim to do this as quick as possible. I didn't quite meet that notion, but my final time, just under 4 minutes.
Perfect. We did it.
But my firefighter training didn't end there. After leaving the Porter, we headed to the firefighting damage control trainer at the Submarine Learning Facility, where sailors train for worst-case scenario.
We still have to put everything on because we are ready for the worst-case scenario. Those small fires grow to big fires very fast.
Showing us just how quickly fires can spread from compartment to compartment while on a submarine, and teaching us about the different types of extinguishers they use.
You hold on to the cone firmly, point it at the fire, which essentially we're simulating is the switchboard, and you just grab on and push.
And after, I put my feet to the fire. For our safety, no active flames were going. But our experience at the Submarine Learning Facility wasn't complete just yet. I'm on board one of 2 submarine simulators here in Norfolk, Virginia, and these simulators allow sailors to get a real hands-on experience of what these dives are actually like. Currently, we're at about a 30-degree angle. The angle pertinent to how rapidly a submarine descends. But before that dive angle can happen, first the sounding of an alarm to alert everyone the vessel is on the move.
So within, I would say, sounding the alarm to getting where we need to go, maybe 2 minutes or so.
Then it was time for me to get in the driver's seat.
But then now we're going to start going down again.
And fun fact, because of how crucial sound is while underwater, a submarine is the only place sailors are allowed to wear tennis shoes instead of steel-toed boots.
If you were to bump against anything metal, a cabinet, it doesn't matter what it is, the sound will resonate through the whole of the ship, and it basically accentuates it out miles.
From below the surface to above it. We're aboard Landing Craft Utility 1663, or the LCU. They're known as the last tactical mile, and one Nebraska native helps ensure their success. She's part of the team on the ground, assisting the one out at sea.
Even when the craft is deployed, we take care of all their admin paperwork. They email us like what they need.
Meet Katia Cortines, a yeoman in Assault Craft Unit 2 in Norfolk, Virginia.
I handle all administrative items for our triad and for all the sailors here, whether they're going to go deploy or they're going to be just here needing to take care of any paperwork for the command.
Cortines, originally from Norfolk, Nebraska.
I grew up there my whole life. Since I was born, same house, little small town. I liked it. It was nice, but I was always like wanting something more.
With a desire to travel and be part of something larger than herself, she says serving in a branch of the military piqued her interest as a kid.
I've always, since I was little, I would tell my dad, like, I want to be in the military, I want to be in the Army, like watching movies and stuff like that. And as I got older, it was always a thought in the back of my head.
Cortina says after meeting with Navy recruitment officers in high school, she knew it was the branch for her.
So I joined out of Omaha, Nebraska. I came in as a culinary specialist. I did 5 years in San Diego, 3 years in Hawaii, and then now I'm here in Virginia.
In the past year, she's transitioned to become a yeoman,
This is my desk.
spending a majority of her time on land.
I'm able to see my child grow up, and I'm able to be with family more.
In her role, she now works with sailors out at sea and those still on land, and part of that is as a CMEO, Command Managed Equal Opportunity.
Let's say a sailor has a complaint and they feel like something happened to them, whether it's harassment, discrimination, everything. They come to one of us 3 CMEOs, and we make sure they get the help they need.
The group also runs command surveys, gathering anonymous responses from sailors on potential issues or areas that need to be improved.
And if there were any problems, whether we didn't know about or we maybe had gotten a comment about it, we try to improve all those problems and eliminate those problems so we can be a better command and better Navy in a whole, right?
And a large piece of that, helping protect and acknowledge sailors' mental health.
When I first came in, it was a lot more like a stigma, like don't ask for mental health, you could get kicked out and stuff like that. But none of it's true.
Cortina says she's constantly working to remind her fellow sailors it's okay to speak out.
It's a very important role at the command. It's important because you want to make sure you're a person that the sailors trust, a person that the sailors can actually come and talk to.
Along with being a trusted listener, Cortina says she also helps direct sailors to the multitude of resources the Navy and military offer. Now reaching nearly 9 years of service, Cortina says she's found the something larger she was searching for.
And I'm glad to be doing it.
Cortinas and her command are not the only ones helping support sailors' mental health. The USS Gerald R. Ford also finding ways to help sailors while deployed, with multiple behavioral health technicians available in the ship's health department.
A lot of people come here afraid of mental health, and that's fine. And we do our best to make them more comfortable, make it their choice if they want to talk more or less. Just make them feel welcome and safe here.
PhD Robert Patterson says on average his department will see 8 to 14 sailors per week, ensuring there's a safe space to seek out.
If things are rough, don't be afraid to seek out mental health, no matter how small you think it is.
But the aircraft carrier also has another weapon in their arsenal. Meet Sage, the first ever facility dog to deploy on a ship.
Kind of a pilot program that hasn't been fully codified yet, but we're working towards that hopefully because I see her positive impact all the time.
Her primary handler, Command Climate Specialist Eric Schneitzer, says she makes his job easier while simultaneously making the ship's environment calmer.
I was in a debrief for a drill and some people were getting a little pumped with each other, and she just went over to one person and just put her head on their knee, and it just broke the continuum of harm, so to speak. Like, they're like, oh, what was I upset about?
Schneitzer says Sage first deployed on the Ford in May 2023, and ever since, she's become a ship-wide celebrity and an essential piece to the crew's success.
Take it away, Sage. Take it away.
Some of the most well-trained sea warriors on the planet melt when they see her, play with her, get a little pick me up, and then they go about their business, whether it be running a drill, fighting fire, running security, running air ops on the flight ops up on the flight deck. It doesn't interrupt or take away from their resilience, it just bolsters it.
And Sage, loving her job.
Do you enjoy your job?
Still ahead, an Omaha native explains his crucial role on a naval aircraft carrier.
If we do not have our systems, then they could not land on the flight deck. So it's pretty vital.
Plus, an exclusive look at what it's like to live on board the USS Gerald R. Ford.